Yeah, so I need 3 timers, but I can do the Tabata one on the clock. So I've got a 5-minute timer at the start, and I'll tell you when I need I actually need 4 timers. So on this one, this is just every 2.5 minutes I'll complete a set. All right, good morning, guys. So we're going to get into a full body strength and conditioning workout today. What we're going to do to start is just a 5-minute AMRAP. We're going to just move nice and slow and just get the blood moving a little bit, okay? So to begin, we're just going to start with 10 air squats. We want to have the feet under the hips and toes facing out. We want to keep that chest up and back arched. We're going to drive the knees out straight over the toes, getting all the way down, cover back to that top position, up top. We're then going to go into 10 push-ups. So you're just going to keep those elbows tucked into the ribs, Lower down until that chest comes all the way to the floor. And drive back up to that extended elbow position. Top. We're then going to go through some banded bicep curls, okay? So if you guys have bands, you can use these. Otherwise, grab yourself some water bottles or something like that, and we can still hit those curls. So you're just going to keep the elbows tucked in, pull up, right up into the chest, then right back down into that full extension in the, all right? Following that, we're just going to go for some alternating lunges. So nice long step, back knee down to the floor, keeping that chest up, recover back to the top. All right, so we're just going to put 5 minutes on a clock, and that's going to give us the opportunity to just work through this AMRAP as many rounds as possible, and basically get nice and warm to begin. So I'm just going to start a clock for 5 minutes. We've got 10 seconds. All right, we are going in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Remember that whole time we're squatting, I want you guys keeping those heels down, making sure that chest stays upright, that back's arched. And you can bring your arms up if you're struggling to keep that upright position. We have a much stronger squat here, okay? All right, we're then going to get into our push-ups. So again, tucking those elbows in. If you need to scale that back, we can come down to the knees. Otherwise, we'll stay up in those toes, chest down the floor, drive. All right, we're next going to get into our banded bicep curls. We're just standing in that band, elbows tucked in, and 10 reps. This is just going to get those biceps nice and warm. We've got lots of pulling exercises later. Plus, everyone loves a cheeky pump. I'm just trying to show you guys that from home, you can pretty much work out with no gear. You can get anything done. It's got to be imaginative, all right? All right, we're then going into our alternating lunges. So back knee down to the floor, drive back up and recover. And then we just repeat. So my timer messed up, so we'll just go by feel. Back into our push-ups. Banded curls. Do you have any people watching? Awesome. Hello, guys. All right, back into our alternating lunges from here. So again, nice long step, back knee down to floor and recover back to the top. So for our workout today, you guys don't really need a lot of gear. We'll be doing some dips, so you can grab benches for that. And we're going to have some kettlebell swings, but of course you can use anything else. So I've got a backpack and some weight, and I'll take you guys through how to set that up. Back onto push-ups, and then we'll call it. Right, warm up done. And now just going to do a little bit of mobility. So if anybody has a foam roller, you can get one of these out. We're going to get into our lats. Just because I really want to make sure you guys have good overhead position and nice and loose. This will make us feel better. So I'm going to lay across the side of that roller, hand towards the roof, rolling up and down on that lat. Now any tight spots, we can go side to side across here. Try and really loosen that off, okay? You should find any real tight spots between the ribs or up in that armpit. Tend to make you feel a little sick. This is what we want. Spend about a minute each side. Definitely much harder to work and talk at the same time.
Yeah, you'll get used to it.
And changing over. Have you guys missed the barbell class this morning? How many are watching? That's cool. All right.
Is that how many are watching?
Yeah. Sorry?
If you're on Facebook, you know, got YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah, that's sweet. That's sweet. All right. We're now just going to do some mobility for our hip flexors. So we can use a box, a couch, or a chair for this. We're going to take the top of our foot up onto the box, and our back knee right down to the floor, okay? We're going to hold this position for a minute on each side. Now we can drive that hip forward and squeeze the bum. Get a nice stretch on that front of the hip and your entire quad, okay? Now if this is a bit tight, start with your hands down just to take some pressure off. Spend about 30 seconds here before we lift back up into this position, okay? This stretch will change your life, and I say that about every stretch. Are you doing all the commenting? Is that all you commenting?
No, that's Matt actually.
Oh,
He's commenting.
Hey Matt, how are you?
Yeah, usually it sticks on the Facebook page. And
He loves it. No sleep-ins. All right, we are then going to change sides and hit a minute on this side as well. So again, if that's too tight, when you squeeze the bum and extend the hip, you can bring those hands a bit lower and just take that pressure off the hip flexor. If that's a bit tough on your knee, on the back leg, you can always chuck a towel or a pillow underneath, a cushion. Good to see our fearless leader tuning in. Yeah, I've just been in Russia, mate. It was amazing. Pre-COVID-19 as well. Happy with that. All right, and when you've done that, release. All right, have a little break, grab some water if you want. We're about to get into some strength work, okay? So enjoy. Welcome back, guys. So what we are going to do now, we've got 5 sets of 5 dips. Now you can use rings, boxes, parallel bars if you have them. What we're going to do is really try and overload that eccentric portion. So that's any time we are lowering down. And this is where the most muscle damage can occur, okay? So just think of eccentric as lowering down, concentric as contraction or pushing back up. We're going to do 5 reps with a 5-second eccentric. So this equates to 25 seconds of time under tension, and it's extremely difficult, okay? This is a really effective way to train, especially if you don't actually have any weights that you can add to a movement at home, because slowing it down makes it much more difficult. So what we're going to do is basically we can use the dip bars, we can use rings even. I'll take you through all of them. Otherwise, if you've got 2 chairs or 2 patio chairs, something like that, we can use that. So you're going to start from the top. You're going to be locked out, feet together. You're going to lower down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When you get to that bottom position, drop down, and then you're going to jump back to the top. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So if you don't have the strength to push back out of this movement, that's okay, because we're trying to focus on just that eccentric loading. So we don't actually need the ability to push back out just yet. We can work on that later once we've built up these positions. The slow eccentrics is going to help your technique a lot. It's going to make sure you've got stability through the whole range of motion. And it's going to prevent us getting injured trying to go too fast too soon. I'll show you guys from the side using our dip bars here. Now you're going to lean right forwards. You're going to push that elbow back and bring that chest over. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, reset, okay? You can also use the parallel bars, because I know a lot of you at home have these. Now you just need to bend your knees for this one. But exactly the same, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then you can reset and start again. Now, for those of you who are playing at home, who have maybe a dip belt or a weight plate, you can chuck it between the thighs, and this is just going to help you overload that movement, okay? So I have here a 10-kilo dumbbell. Got a dip belt, and I'm just going to pull it up over my hips. Now, if you guys have access to this gear, you can also use that. That's terrible. All right, use the rings. We're going to do 5 sets of this. In between, we're then going to do a 20-second L-sit hold, okay? So what I'm going to do is we'll have a clock set up so that every 2.5 minutes, we start a new set. Let me just set this up. All right. So you're going to hear the clock beep, and that's when we'll start. So every 2.5 minutes, we start a new set. We've got 5 dips and a 20-second L-sit. All right, jumping up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, when you've done with that, we'll be going straight into an L-sit, okay? So, dip belt comes off. Now, there are a few ways we can do this. You can elevate yourself, so using the parallettes, we can have our legs straight out in front, legs up and holding. We can tuck the knees, if that's a little difficult also. Elbow must stay locked out, and you're actually pushing yourself back to keep yourself elevated. We can then do this on the floor. So, wherever our fingertips are placed, changes the difficulty, okay? The further forward they are, the easier it is. The further back, further back easier, further forward harder, okay? So, let's go 20-second L-sit. And rest. All right, got 1 minute and we go again. Done with chairs. Do we have chairs?
I can find some chairs.
Sorry?
Yeah, I can find some chairs.
We got some baby stools. These will work. Is that better? Man, it's toasty in this gym. Who's doing these with weight? One thing I learned in Russia, okay. All right, for New Year's, everybody lights fireworks in the street and it's terrifying. All right, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, we have 2 chairs for dips. Excellent. So I'll do that in the next set, okay? Thank you, Gary. So when you have finished that set of dips, we go straight into our L sit, or you can do it with a tucked knee. My abs are sore from laughing at Gary's jokes, so.
It happens. This is one of my favorites while he does that. So a friend just kept telling me things are going to get better. You know, things could be worse. You could be stuck underground in a hole full of water. I know he means well. Now I just need a sound effect, didn't you?
What are your best jokes?
If you had a good dad joke, please let me know.
Might do this one without the weights. On chairs. They feel a bit flimsy. Ready to die, but not by dips. All right, 45 seconds. We are on our next set from there, guys. What else in Russia? If you have a torn meniscus, wrap it up and keep training. That was pretty much the instruction I had from Vlad. Shout out to Vlad Lukanen. All right, 20 seconds. We're on our next set, guys. So with your chair dips, you're just going to face them both inwards so we can rest on the backrest here. You want to keep your wrist locked. So if we have our hand back like this so it's flat, that's where we want the wrist over here so it's supported, okay? We're not going to be able to hold it with a vertical wrist, okay? So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You make them a bit wider. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you can also use your chairs here as your L sit or your parallel. So stop. Cool. We've got 2 more sets, guys. Man, I'm dripping sweat. We need the fans on. Is this going to affect the sound? Off, yeah. That's where it was once. Oh, there we go. Sweet. We'll try it out. I'm dying. Look at that, so pleasant. What else can we do dips on? You can, if you have dumbbells at home, you could elevate your hands and use the dumbbells as a bit of a dip bar. That works really well, as long as you're not trying to do a handstand. I've experience with that one. All right, 20 seconds, we're on our next set. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So again, taking this off, and then L sit. And rest. So 90 seconds and we start our last set of these guys. Everyone's chest is feeling okay? So right now you should be feeling like your pecs are getting a massive stretch, and with that extra time under tension, you're fatiguing really fast. It's going to make it much harder when we get into our push-ups later on, if you've read the program so far. What's everyone having for breakfast? How many people are watching? Nearly there, guys. Oh, shit. Oh, oats, my boy. Makes me very proud. Porridge is my thing. All right, this is your last set, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last 2 reps. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gonna have some sore pecs tomorrow, guys. And rest. All right, guys, take a little break. We'll be back with some Tabata work to do. Maybe stretch your pecs out in between, okay? Enjoy. All right, welcome back, guys. So we're now going to do a bit of Tabata work, okay? So this means we're going to do 8 rounds of 20 seconds work, 10 seconds rest. But we're going to do 2 rotations through this. So we end up doing actually 16 rounds or 8 minutes. What's going to happen is we're going to have 4 movements we alternate between. So we're going to start with goblet squats. We're then going to do a handstand push-up from a box or a decline push-up. We're going to do plyometric lunges, and then we're going to do Australian pull-ups, which I'm not too sure why they're called Australian pull-ups, but it's just a variation of a horizontal row where you're actually hanging from a bar with your feet in contact with the floor. Basically a ring row, but on a bar, okay? So how this is going to work, I'll set up a timer on the clock, and it'll beep after 20 seconds work. It'll beep again after 10 seconds rest, so we'll know exactly when to go. Now, there's a cool playlist you can use for those playing at home. So we have Tabata songs, all right? So this has lots of different songs that basically have a timer built in. So it'll say 3, 2, 1, start, 3, 2, 1, rest or stop, and it'll tell you which round you're up to, okay? So for those playing at home, we're going to do 2 songs, and then you can move forwards. We're not going to play the songs in the stream just in case we get banned and can't actually play with sound. But for those wanting to do that, go to Tabata Songs on Spotify, and you can find 2 songs that you want to pick, cue them, and we'll get into it. So do that maybe while I'm going through technique now, and then you know exactly what we're doing. So we're going to hold a kettlebell up on the chest, okay? Or any weight. You could hold a bottle of wine, most of you will have that, bottle of rum, water, whatever you want to do. You're going to hold it up on the chest. You're going to take a big breath in. You're then going to squat, driving those knees out, and recover back to that lockout up top. So by holding this kettlebell on the chest, it's going to force us to sit nice and upright, and we're going to keep that core engaged so that we don't have any collapsing forwards, okay? So if you start to feel yourself tip forwards, let's take that weight away and go back to body weight, just for a bit better quality reps, okay? Once you've done your 20 seconds of work on goblet squats, you're going to take 10 seconds rest. We're then moving on to a box, all right? And what we're going to do here is basically 2 variations of a handstand push-up. So I'll show you from the front, then I'll show you from the side. Now, if we're doing these front on, what I'm trying to achieve is that I'm going to have my head tucked under, so I'm looking at the box, so that I'm coming down onto a neutral spine. When I lower my head down to tag the floor, okay, I want to make a tripod, so my head comes here, and my hands are here, making a tripod, so I'm stable. I might put this down onto a lower box, just so you guys are a bit more confident, and that's about the same height as a chair at home. All right, so we're going to have our knees up on the box. We're going to tuck the head right under, keeping close. We're going to lower it down until that head tags the floor, and then push back up. Now, for those of you who are a bit more confident with this, we can go from the toes. This makes it much harder as there's a lot more weight up on the shoulders, okay? Because we don't actually have any weight being deloaded onto the box. So again, from the side, if you're doing from the toes, if you're doing from the knees, much easier. All right? Now with these ones, you might get a little dizzy when you sit back up, so just make sure you're breathing the whole time and not holding your breath for too long. We're now going to get into some plyometric lunges. So once you've done 20 seconds work here, we're going to take a nice long step forward. We're then going to extend, driving that front heel hard into the floor, jump and alternate. Now, these aren't a true plyometric because your contact time with the floor is much longer than half a second. But bear with me on that one, okay? That's your plyometric lunges. Important that we keep that chest up. I don't want anyone falling forwards and pushing through that toe and then trying to jump, okay? Keep that chest up and alternate. We're then going to move on to Australian pull-ups. So you're just going to find a bar. If you have like a playground at home for your kids or something like that, you can hang off this. So you're going to have full extension in the arms. You're going to squeeze shoulder blades together, pulling the chest to the bar and then back down. The further under our feet are, the harder this becomes. The further back, the easier this becomes. Now, if you don't really have an alternative or a bar to hang off, just grab yourselves a bag. This is my gym bag, very heavy. What you can do as an alternative is a bent over row, okay? So holding that bag in front of the body like this, we're just going to pull into the hips and back down. All right? So this is the same rowing movement pattern. We're just doing it a little differently because you don't actually have access to a bar like this if you don't have it at home. All right, what we're going to do is get this Tabata started. So it's 8 minutes of work in total, okay? I hope you guys found your Tabata songs that you want to use for this. So when I start the clock, you have 10-second countdown, 20 seconds work, 10 seconds rest, 16 rounds. Got 10 seconds, guys. Probably shouldn't have thrown that. That was my knee. Angela, you're missing out on box jumps. And rest. Have you guys found some sick tracks to do this too? Don't do that with hay fever. All right, Australian pull-ups now. One round down. Live without box jumps and thrusters. That is your breakfast, your bread and butter. Let's go. What's everyone using for their goblet squat? Now, for those of you who maybe can't really do the plyometric lunges due to injury, we can alternate or just do more squats as an alternative, okay? So if you can't actually plyo, you can just step back and alternate like so, all right? All right, back onto Australian pull-ups. All right, so we have another full round of that. So I'm just resetting that to bite o'clock to get another full cycle there. So we're two full rounds of each through. We're going to go another 2. I hope everyone's spending lots of time with their cats during this time. Plyo lunges are next. All right, back to Australian pull-ups. So guys, just one more round of everything. Hope you're hanging on. I'm not. It's the knee again. All right, lastly, back onto our plyo lunges, then Australian pull-ups for that last round. Oh man. All right, last Australian pull-ups, guys. All right, so that is your 8 minutes of Tabata work done. Have yourselves a break, get some water, and we'll meet back here soon. All right, welcome back, guys. So what we're going to do now is get set up for our workout. So how this is going to work, we've just got 12 minutes. We're going to complete 5 movements with 100 reps each, okay? So we're going to start with 100 air squats, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 Australian pull-ups, and 100 kettlebell swings, or you can do a backpack with a weight in it, okay? So most people have a backpack, or their kids may, so what you're going to do is fill it with anything you can find. I've got a 15 kilo ball here, just as an example, but you might be able to use a stack of books, a few bricks, I don't know, some sand. We're just going to take that ball, we're going to place it inside the backpack, right? And we're going to zip it up for obvious reasons. This is my makeshift kettlebell. So you're going to hold the straps like this. You're obviously going to tighten these up a lot so that it's not too low. For our kettlebell swings, we're going to do up to eye level, so like a Russian swing. And to answer the question Ray got the other day, pretty much anything with a Eastern European name, it's just a hip dominant exercise, okay? Bulgarian split squat, Romanian deadlift, Russian swings, hip dominant. So we're going to come through the hips, squeeze the bum and open up just up to that eye level. If you're fortunate enough to have a kettlebell and you're not going to, risk ripping that backpack, use that kettlebell through the hips, squeeze the bum, and up to eye level. Now from the side, the heels stay down, the back stays arched, and we're going to keep the hip high for maximum tension on that hamstring before squeezing and locking out. All right. So that will be our last exercise today, and I wanted to show you that first so you've got some time to set up your backpack or get your kettlebells ready, okay? Now, obviously for 100 reps, a heavy weight's going to be quite challenging, so feel free to taper that back to a level that you can maintain for reps of 20 to 25, and then you'll be able to get through it nice and easy, okay? Not too easy though. First movement, we have the air squats. We've done a lot of these now, so driving the knees out, full squat, recover back to that lockout. All right, second movement, push-ups. Now your shoulders are going to be very toast after dips and handstand push-ups. So if you need a scale, what we can do is bring the chest down to the floor, knees to the floor, push up from the knees, okay? So we are doing full body weight eccentric and reduced body weight concentric. If you're an absolute jet at your push-ups, stay on your toes the whole time. If you need to scale a bit more than the full eccentric, stay on the knees the whole time, okay? So we have 3 options there. All of them will be challenging for this sort of volume, okay? Next, we have sit-ups. Now, sometimes you can get a bit of a tight back from these. So if you have access to a yoga mat, you can use this to support your lower back, okay? Just like that. You're going to bring the soles of your feet together. You're going to lower down and tilt the chest and arms tag the floor. You're then going to swing those arms forward, sit up to full lockout and just grab the toes. So in this position, my back is upright. I'm not slouched like this, okay? This looks like a dog doing a poo in the park. This is a sit-up. All right, so that's what we'll be going for. We then have our 100 Australian pull-ups. So we've just been through them. Now, again, if you don't have a bar to use, you can use rings if you have them set up at home. So this is another option. Squeeze shoulder blades together, chest to rings, back down to extension, okay? Very simple with that one. And the last movement is our swings, which we've just addressed with either the backpack full of weight or the kettlebell, okay? So I'll give you guys a minute or so to get everything set up, maybe grab some water, a bucket to vomit in, and then we'll start. Luck. I'll need 12 minutes here. All right, so with your strategy for this one, guys, You don't have to go 100 of each movement in the order I've written it. You can actually choose how you want to break it up. So you might want to go 20 of everything 5 times. You might want to go all the squats and then all the sit-ups, Australian pull-ups and swings so that you don't have to do any push-ups, which is likely to be my strategy. All right? So we've got 12 minutes to get through as much of this as you possibly can. And what we're trying to achieve is, even if you can't finish it and you don't get a time for your workout, we're just trying to get a total amount of reps. So we've got a total of 500 to achieve here, all right? What we're trying to do is just get as many as possible. So you might end up on like 300. That's still fantastic for 12 minutes of work. All right, we're gonna make a start now, guys. So I'm gonna start the clock. You'll get a 10-second countdown into it, and then we can begin, okay? Now, like I said, don't go too crazy trying to get all 100 in a row. You can break this up however you want because you've got 12 minutes to achieve it in. Find a strategy that works for you and don't go too hard on one movement, burn out and hit that lactic threshold straight away. Let's say you went on push-ups, you hit a set of 30. After that, you might be doing 3s or 4s because you're so toast. That's not efficient, okay? Break it 20 instead so you can maintain it longer. All right, we've got 10 seconds. Get these squats done, eh? All right, 75. Keep it up, guys. $85. Angela's already finished the workout. $90.
I think quite a few people just tuned in just to watch you sweat.
Oh, mate. They're gonna be not disappointed. I'll definitely sweat. $20. All right, that's 10. I'll use the backpack just to show you that you can work out with anything. Then down. Now, if you had a Woolworths bag, you could fill it with books or a bucket of water. This would work too. Money. What music do you guys train to?
Kat says she's going to start this in 10.
Good to hear, Kat. That's what I like to hear. 10 seconds, I hope. No, I think my bag's ripping. All right, so 40 down of everything but push-ups. Leaving them to last because they are the worst. I could hear my backpack ripping before, so I'm going to go to the kettlebell next. I hope you all listen to Taylor Swift while you train.
I think Matt secretly does, yes.
I do
he
it.
just wants to be cool in front of everyone else. He also said he loves your bag swinging.
Thank you. I've never heard that before. Got to get creative. All right, 60 down. We're nearly there, guys, 90 seconds. Done. Well done, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you for tuning in. So take another minute or so. Take another minute or so, get your breath back, have some water. We'll have a stretch. We'll figure out your scores as well. Well done. Guys, we're going to finish things off with a little stretch now, okay? I hope everybody enjoyed that. It was a nice way to get some good quality body weight exercise in. You can still work intensely with minimal gear at home or out in the park. There's a lot of calisthenics parks out there, so you can jump on them. So we're going to start by stretching our quad and hip flexor now because we've just done lots of lunges and squatting, okay? We're going to take the top of our foot to the floor with the knee out about 30 degrees. We want the top of the foot here, not sprawled out to the side, okay? We want to actually up on the toe, so it elevates that hip a little higher. We're then going to lower down, just come to your elbows, or you can come flat back if your body can handle it. We're going to sit here for about 30 seconds and just let gravity do the job. So we're just stretching it out, nice, long, deep breaths. This is probably the best position to get into if you want your pets to play with you. If you're laying on the floor, they'll jump all over you. This is your homework. I think you guys should give Gary a big shout out. He's done really well setting up this studio and, you know, making these workouts accessible to you. It's pretty unreal. So make sure you give him a little virtual high five or clap. All right, we're now on that same side going to sit up. We lean forward onto that front leg and stretch out that hamstring, okay? So just come as low as you can get and try and push your chest down to the knee. We're hitting that hamstring. We've just done this hip flexor and quad. We'll then change over. You guys will have to tell me what you used as your kettlebell swings today. Like, did you have a bucket of water or did you have a Coles bag full of road maps or Harry Potter books? Whatever you use, you got to let me know. Gary is the man. Very good. I don't know if Gary wrote that himself though.
Appreciate it. Oh, I could say that actually. Yeah.
All right, we're going to change over now, guys. We're going to hit the other leg. All right, laying right back. And just stretching out that hip flexor and quad again on this side. Now, after I had my little surgery on that knee, I can't quite get as low, like getting that knee to the floor. And this hip flex is a little bit tighter. So you just got to sit there and be patient with it. Eventually, over time, it comes back. Where are you guys all getting your coffee from today? And why aren't you bringing me one? All right, so we're now going to sit up. Again, we're going to stretch that leg on that front leg. We're going to hit that hamstring and just try and get that chest down to the knee, okay? If you guys have kids, you should totally get them on board with this, get them to work out with you a little bit. It's all very simple movements. You can show them some regressions. I think they'll have fun working out with their parents, especially since there's nothing else to do. Hey, social manner. Good job, Leanne. I like that I can see your comments while we're doing this. Oh, the man. Homebrew coffee. All right, what we're going to do now, we're going to bring the heels of our shoes together, all right? Pull it right in, keep the chest upright. We're just going to wiggle like this, loosen up our hip flexors a little bit, just try and shake it out, and then we'll get into our upper body. So with all the volume we've just done on ring dips, handstand push-ups, potentially push-ups if you did that workout in a different manner to myself, you're going to have some fairly tight pecs and sore triceps. So I'm going to show you some drills we can do to loosen those up, okay? All right, what we're going to do now, laying onto our stomach. No, I'm getting rid of the mic. All right, we're going to take our hand out to 90 degrees. We're going to take this hand and push aside to get a big stretch across that pec and into the shoulder. The harder you push here, the better that stretch. Very important you stretch your pecs a lot anyway. You don't want to end up with some crazy Neanderthal posture like a caveman. We still got to be able to put our seatbelts on even though we're in isolation, all right? All right, from here we're going to change sides, get into the other pec. All right, coming up from here, we're just going to turn the heel of our palm forwards, especially for those of you who just used an actual kettlebell, your forearms are going to be pretty tight. What we're going to do from here is just leaning right back, trying to arch that back and get as much stretch to that forearm as possible, okay? Now, try and keep the heels and palm down. You can rock back and forward and try and loosen it off a little bit. And just find that position where you get a nice stretch. I hope everyone's enjoyed today's workout so far. Obviously, full body weight is not exactly my strength, but it is some of yours since you're in bodyweight gym, I would hope. Can't wait till we can program snatching into these, but time will tell. All right, and lastly, guys, we're going to take ourselves over to any sort of surface, like a little fence, a pole, your kitchen bench, anything like that. We're going to drive our tricep hard onto the bar, and then you're just going to do some empty curls. So driving that tricep down, curl open and close, just to massage out that tricep, okay? We've done a lot of work on the triceps this morning, so I want you to have those nice and loose so you can still lift those arms overhead and put a t-shirt on tomorrow. That's obviously quite important. Unless you're in isolation, you don't actually have to get dressed. Gary still hasn't got dressed. No, I'm joking. And change.
Yeah, I pretty much sit here in my boxers as I'm out of the picture.
When did you put them on? No.
No, it all comes off when you leave.
And guys, thanks for joining my session today. I really enjoyed that, and I hope you did too. Make sure you also thank Matt, because he's done a really, really great, oh, sorry, there's the camera, not the TV. He's done a really great thing to get this set up in a short amount of time, get Gary on board, and create these online interactive classes for you. It's really well done, and I think everybody could, everybody could really benefit from this. So get on board, and make sure you throw the page a like, and yeah, show Matt and Gary some love. Thank you, guys.
Let's have a hazmat suit.
Thanks, though.
Thanks, guys.